disease, and then you went to Doha. I think you just missed the podium at fifth. You finally got to the Olympics. You got your medal, but now you're even higher on a silver medal again. Talk to me about that journey.
Yeah, I mean, it's a special journey. Like I said, for me, it's a blessing to just be back competing at a level that's highly competitive.
Yeah.
And you just take everything as it comes. So obviously our event is very competitive.
Yeah.
So you can't really take anything for granted. So, like I said, I'm just glad to be back and competing at a high level and be back on the podium.
Who are some of the people that you have around you to support you through some of those tough times and the ups and downs throughout your career?
Yeah, obviously my coach, Harvey Blanche, he's been there with me, since I just started. In my days at University of Alabama, and obviously my family home, the people in my community involved, in extension to Grenada, the whole diaspora in New York, Toronto, all over the U.S., all over the world. So just having that kind of support system, I think is important because, I'm just assured that as long as I do my best, these people are going to be proud of me. And once I know that I have that, guarantee, then I can just go out and compete to the best of my ability.
Nice. And, representing Grenada on the world stage year after year, there's a long history of sprinting in Grenada, but what does it mean for you to kind of continue that history and, you still have years to go?
Yeah, I mean, it all started with me with Alain Francisque. When he came on the scene, I think he just gave us the confidence as athletes, youth athletes, to go out there and try to represent our country well, to give us the idea that no matter how small of a country we are, that we can still go out there and compete with the best of the world. So, for me, it's just trying to inspire the next generation of athletes to come, and hopefully they can just take on the mantle, and maybe, I can even, be on some teams with them. So, hopefully that can happen.
Nice. And what do you do to celebrate? I mean, you got a silver medal. Like, do you get a chance to celebrate a little bit, or maybe even get some rest?
Not yet. Still have, a couple of meets to go. I don't know. Maybe I might have some ice cream tonight or something like that. Yeah, that's about it.
What kind of ice cream you having?
Chocolate.
There you go.
That's it. Yeah.
How special is this event? You have won gold before, silver. How special is this one?
Yeah, I think, like I say, every championship is unique in its own way. The circumstances are unique, so it is special because just coming off on an Olympic year, just trying to, like I say, our event is so volatile because there's guys coming in and out of the event so much. So, for me to come out here and compete and just kind of be consistent, to show people that I'm still here, just being and competing at a very high level. For me, that's kind of special. So, yeah.
If you were to take us back a little from start to finish and just looking back at the replay, how did you think you would have done? I know the end result was a silver medal, but did you think you put together the race that you wanted?
Yeah, well, the whole idea was, having Michael Norman in front of me, the idea was to not let him, get too far from me because he's a guy, he's so talented, he's so strong, he's so fast that, coming up the turn, if he's so far ahead, you're not going to give yourself a chance to catch him. So the whole idea was to make sure I stay close and, the last 100 meters, 50 meters or whatever, give myself a chance to be competitive at the end. So at the end, you never know what's going to happen, so you just want to give yourself that chance.
And you've been at the top for 10 years now. Do you ever think how long you can do this? I mean, you were the young kid and now you're not old, but how long? Do you ever think about?
I always say, my whole idea is to be competitive at a certain level. Now, as long as I can do that, then I'm happy with that. So, competing against these guys, like I said, our event is so volatile. I mean, next year there's going to be a guy that comes along that comes out of nowhere that nobody knows about. So, like I said, just trying to compete at that level. If I can maintain that level, regardless of whether I get on the podium or not, then I'll try to do it as long as I can.
Just curious, do you ever think about time at all? Because it's like, again, that consistency is so crazy, but you don't, your PB is not, 43.5 or something like that, right? But you're always there. Do you ever think about time?
Well, like I said, it's all about consistency, right? So, I mean, we've seen it in the history of event. If you understand our event, the last 10 years, there are a lot of guys that have run under 44. Yeah. But to have that longevity and that consistency, I think that's the key. Yeah. If you want to be in this sport, if you want to give yourself a chance to be in the moment at championships, you have to be consistent, regardless of if you run, a time one time. Yeah. That's great, but you have to do it consistently. So that's my whole aim, is to try to be consistent. If you're consistent, you're always going to have a chance, So, yeah.
Do you see 4 hurdles? Did you see the 400 final?
Oh yeah.
What do you think about it?
Like when she came up the 300, I was like, that's close to my time running 300, man. I'm like, so I mean, she's just fantastic, man. I met her like when we were gathering for the medal. I've never knew her, so I just introduced myself, and she's incredible, man. I mean, she's incredible. I mean, there's no words to describe that. I mean, 50 points. I mean, that's just incredible. I mean, there's hardly any words to describe her. She's amazing. So hopefully, like I said, she can keep going, and I think this is what the sport needs, it's athletes like her that's always going to take us forward, having performances like that, we need that. So hopefully, I mean, she can just help propel the whole sport forward.
And of course, a bronze medal, gold medal, Shade from Barbados won the bronze medal. I mean, what do you think about it? I mean, we all know Shade Miller, what she's capable of, but bronze medal coming from Barbados in this one.
Oh man, that's incredible. I mean, they had two athletes in the men and women final. So for me, that's impressive. I think it shows that, in the small islands, there is talent, and we just have to make sure that there is a proper pathway, a proper gateway, to harness that talent. Whether we use a collegiate system or we try to develop them at home, it just shows that there is a lot of talent, and we just have to, just try to keep motivating these athletes and keep helping them and just trying to show them that, you can be competitive regardless of where you're from.
And I must ask you this a final question. A few years ago, Grenada would be able to put together a very good 4x4 team.
Yeah.
It's not the case now.
No.
What's happening to sprinting 1, 2, 4 in Grenada?
Well, I think it's just a combination of, athletes and administration. I think just kind of putting everything together. Right now, I think we're at somewhat of an inflection point in trying to figure out what we need to do. What's the best pathway to help these athletes? So I know like we haven't been talking about a 4x4 recently. What we've been talking about is a mixed relay team. So
which will still be good.
I mean, I love the mixed relays. I love it. So maybe that's something that we could look at. If we can get 5, 6 men on the 400 side, maybe we can get 2 women, 3 women. That can be, impressive, and maybe we can put something together like that. But
and you would be part of it? You would be part of that team?
Yeah. Like I said, I love the mixed relay. I love watching. I watch the finals here. I mean, it was amazing just to watch that. So hopefully, maybe that's something that we could look at. Just trying to find those little avenues where we could, get on the podium or give ourselves a chance on the podium. We all know the 4x4 man is always competitive, man. I mean, you have the US, you have, Great Britain, you have all these teams that are so competitive. So maybe we find a different avenue to get medals or give ourselves a chance of gaining more medals. All right.
Congrats, Kirani. Great job,
Thank
man.
you.